Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here, man. I think this video is about to be one of them ones, man. Shout out to Blackie Speak. He's back. I ain't seen him in a while. But he got a video called The OVO Curse, The Danger of Signing to Drake. Before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all pick y'all up a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, written by me, Big Kish. The link will be in the description for purchase. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, Drake is one of the most successful artists of this generation. He's built a powerhouse brand with his extensive catalog of music and has stayed at the forefront of the game since he came in it. But behind the success of his OVO Sound record label, there's been a pattern. Some might even call it a curse. What started as a clothing brand in 2011 turned into a record label just a year later. Launched in 2012 by Drake, his longtime producer 40, and manager Oliver. OVO Sound was supposed to be a platform for emerging talent, but over the years, it's gained a reputation for something else, a place where artists often fade away. The roots of OVO go all the way back to 2006, back when Drake dropped his first mixtape, Room for Improvement. At the time, it wasn't OVO yet. He was putting it under a name called All Things Fresh, an unofficial record label, which eventually evolved into what we know as October's very own OVO. Fast forward to 2012, after the success of Take Care, Drake officially launched OVO Sound as a record label. He brought in his longtime producer Noah 40 Shabib and his manager Oliver. Together, they signed a deal with Warner and started building the roster. The first official artist they signed was Party Next Door in 2013. At just 19 years old, he was already getting early co-signs from Drake, who posted his track Make a Mill on the OVO blog before the signing was even confirmed. The sound was unmistakably OVO.
He was plotting on people for a minute before they, godly, so he been doing this. He been plotting on people.
Moody, melodic, and blurred the line between singing and rapping, drawing early comparisons to The Weeknd. Fans didn't know much about him at the time, but it was clear Drake was betting big on him. And then from there, the OVO roster started to grow. Majid Jordan came next in 2013, a Toronto duo who helped Drake craft one of his biggest records, Hold On, We're Going Home. Then came O.B. O'Brien.
Y'all hear that? A Toronto group that helped Drake craft his sound. Just go home, I'm coming home. They help him craft that. We know what help him craft that means. We know exactly what that means. That was their song. Just like we hear Drake with Central C and he's on these new songs and stuff like, the songs be already made. I'm telling you. These songs be already made. This is why Drake always scouting out people. The dude out in Sierra Leone, I think it's Sierra Leone. Out in Africa somewhere. The dude who did the baby girl, the homegirl, that shit was already made, boy. This is what he do. He go from artist to artist and he see what they got. We see what hits they got. He been doing The Weeknd like that for years. The Weeknd got hits. This is what we can do. He create hits. So Drake looking at that like, oh, and this is why he keep jumping from people to people to people to people to people. And that's how he had that 15-year run of all them hits. They was other people hits. And he was just singing them. Telling y'all, man, this guys.
Followed by iLoveMakonnen in 2014, who was the first non-Canadian artist to join the label. After that, the names kept coming. Roy Woods, Division, Smiley, the list goes on. But here's where things get interesting. Because while OVO sounded like a dream on paper, and being signed to Drake himself seemed like a dream that finally came true, for a lot of these artists, that dream didn't exactly pan out. The pattern was always the same: a Drake cosign, a lot of early buzz, and an effort from Drake to push his new artists. For whatever reason, things always went cold. The momentum died, the buzz faded, and it left people wondering, is this the OVO curse at play, or were these artists simply not built to last? In 2014, rapper iLoveMakonnen was just starting to make waves when he dropped a track called Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure you've heard that song. Club going up on a Tuesday. The song caught Drake's attention, and within 2 days of Makonnen sending it over, Drake dropped a surprise remix. That cosign changed everything for Makonnen. The song went viral, and suddenly, Makonnen wasn't just a bubbling artist, he was next up. Shortly after, he officially signed to OVO Sound, and from the outside, it looked like the perfect come-up: a hit record, a Drake remix, and now a spot on the label. But behind the scenes, things weren't adding up. Makonnen later revealed that OVO Sound was holding his music back. He had a bunch of music ready to go that was supposed to drop in the summer of 2015, but didn't see the light of day until November of that year, when Makonnen self-released the music. By then, however, the momentum was gone. Before things went south, there were
When they see that McConnen wasn't waiting for them and he put it out on his own, they took their backing, they took their influence away. So he approached these artists with, I'm Drake. Yeah, they gonna sign. I'm Drake. I'm coming to you. And then when he see their discography, not their discography, but their catalog, what they've been working on, Drake pick out all of the hits. He pick out all of the hits, take them for himself, and then leave the artist just to be like, just, hey, make some more hits. But those hits is going to be for Drake.
There were already signs of tension. Old tweets resurfaced where McConnen had joked about Drake back in 2011, calling one of his songs lame. He said it wasn't personal, just a playful shade, but after that, things started to shift. And like we spoke about, McConnen later revealed after this that OVO Sound was holding his music back. And here's the crazy part. While he was signed, he barely even spoke to Drake. In interviews, McConnen said he'd seen him here and there, or maybe not at all. Do you still talk to Drake? McConnen got asked. Here and there. By the time this comes out, I'll probably see him 6 more times or no more times. And for someone you were signed to, honestly, that kind of distance said a lot. By 2016, McConnen was over it. He left OVO Sound and went back to doing things independently. It wasn't messy, there was no public beef, but it was another case where the Drake cosign felt loud at first and then completely disappeared. And what I'm wondering is how come Drake, signed an artist and they're barely even staying in touch? I don't really understand that. Now, Drake did have a lot going on during that time. In 2015, he got exposed for using a ghostwriter for one of his albums. If you're reading This Is Too Late. The writer's name was Quentin Miller. Rapper Meek Mill was the one who called it out publicly, posting tweets accusing Drake of not writing his own raps. Now,
and these be the stories that we know. Now, what about the stories we don't know about? What about the songs that didn't get exposed for Drake having ghostwriters? It's majority of them. Telling you, man. Telling you.
a moment shook the whole rap world. It led to one of the biggest beefs in recent history, and forced Drake to defend his name with back-to-back diss tracks, literally. So while all that was happening, artists like Makonnen, who were signed to him, got pushed to the side. The cosign went cold, and just like that, another OVO act faded out. Drake during that time, however, was focusing on helping build Party Next Door's career. Him and Party Next Door have always been on good terms, and Party has spoken about how he enjoys writing for Drake and has always been comfortable with that. However, with that being the case, Party was by the public seen as one of the guys who was set to become an extremely big artist, which never really happened, mostly due to his infrequent drops. And the question a lot of people had was Drake holding Party Next Door back and just using him as a vessel in order to, boost himself up musically? Roy Woods was another promising artist that Drake signed, who never quite took off. Drake signed him back in 2011 after recognizing his raw talent. Roy had that smooth, melodic vibe that fit right into the OVO aesthetic. His biggest moment was the song Drama, a track featuring Drake himself. And for a second, it felt like Roy was next up, but once again, the push wasn't there, and even though the talent was clear, there was no real momentum behind his name.
You do what you want, how you want. There'll never be a time where the answer is like no, or like, I really try and stay out of the way of the other artists.
And this is something that Drake has responded to, saying that he gives the artists, who sign with him all the freedom in the world to do whatever they want to do.
Give them support whenever they need it, but I'm not a guy that like again with the jokes about like all parties in the basement.
It was around this time that fans started picking up on the pattern. Even Drake's most loyal supporters were saying,
but why why is he there for them when they're not signed yet? But as soon as they sign on the dotted line, he don't want nothing to do with them no more. He just want their songs. This goes to show you. He just get them so he can see what they've been working on for all of their years of building themselves up. Because these artists, they build themselves up before they get signed to Drake. They already built up. Migos already built up. Whoever got the so-called stimulus package from Drake, those artists was already built up before Drake even got to him. So when he got to him, he like, hey, I'm Drake. I'm the one who Lucian Grainge signed for all these millions of dollars. I can, I got a nice run right now. You could just stand beside me, and then after that, you're on your own. And he take a lot of these people's songs, y'all.
Saying it. One post on Reddit said, I love Drake, but he doesn't do well with promoting the artist on his label. And it wasn't just based on...
And he scout for who got the buzz. Who got the buzz. I remember he put out, one of them Chicago rappers. I'm your biggest fan. No, you not. You just see he got a buzz right now. You want to sign him up so you could take his songs. They could then be your song. They did the same thing with XXX. Took his song, but he ain't signed XXX though. But he took his song. Telling y'all, bro.
Makonnen or Party Next Door. It was the whole OVO roster. Artist after artist after artist would get a cosign and eventually actually sign on paper, and there would be some initial buzz, and they would drop music under OVO Sound, and then in a lot of ways they would just disappear. People started realizing that this wasn't a one-time thing. This was a system that just didn't seem to work. Yeah. And the question a lot of people had was that, is it because Drake is the head honcho, and is it because Drake always has to be the main event? Because when you're the face of a machine, the star and the engine behind the entire brand, how much room is there really for anyone else to shine? That's a good.
He gotta get UMG a return on their investment. If they invest in all of these millions, right? It wouldn't make sense for somebody to be standing beside him with the same popularity. It would make sense for him to have all of the hits. This is why he get people to sign, get all of their songs, and now he's the hit maker. But really, they somebody else's hits.
Good question. So it did raise the question, is Drake even the kind of artist who should be signing other artists? Aside from the artists Drake actually signed, there are a few others who almost did, and some might say that they ended up dodging the so-called curse. The most notable one, The Weeknd. Back in 2010, The Weeknd was starting to be recognized on the internet. Drake posted 2 of his songs on the OVO blog, instantly boosting his profile. By 2011,
he's popping now. Now all of a sudden you want to post his songs. Why do you only post the people that's popping? He attached himself to them. Take their song again. This is it.
2011, they were working closely together. The Weeknd hit the stage at OVO Fest. Drake pulled up to his first live show in Toronto, and he even played a major role in Shape and Take Care. Actually, The Weeknd ended up giving away half of his own album in order for Drake to create Take Care. And this is something that The Weeknd actually spoke about a long time ago. I gave up almost half of my album to Drake. It's hard. I'll always be thankful. If it wasn't for the light he shined on me, who knows where I'd be. Now, despite all that, The Weeknd never signed to OVO. Instead, he chose the wise path and built his own thing, XO. And looking back, that decision might have saved his career. Years later, there was another artist on a rise who was in the talks of signing with Drake, and that artist was Bryson Tiller. In 2014, Bryson Tiller uploaded a song called Don't to SoundCloud. It started picking up steam, getting attention from producers, blogs, artists, the music industry, including Drake. Drake reached out to Bryson Tiller and told him that he really wanted to sign him to OVO, and things looked promising until they didn't. Because after showing that initial interest, Drake went quiet. He ghosted Bryson.
I was just trying to find songs that he was making when he was trying to figure out who he was going to sign to. And I was just like, man, how did he feel this time? And then I texted him and I was like, yo, man, they got me up here in New York. I really want to sign to OVO. I just hope we can just have a conversation about it, you know what I mean? And he just never texted me back.
And it looks like
he knew Bryce got some information when he was in New York. So he's like, Drake nah. He in New York now. Somebody gonna get in his ear and tell him about me, what my pattern is.
It might have been a very big blessing that he didn't actually sign with Drake, because even though Bryson Tiller has had his ups and downs, he still managed to build his own thing, his own brand, his own fan base, his own lane. And most importantly, he did it without being in anyone's shadow, unlike the majority of the artists on OVO Sound. Despite the fact that Drake is one of the most successful artists of this generation, there's still a conversation to be had about why there seems to be a pattern, even a curse, when it comes to being signed with him. Now, maybe some of these artists wouldn't be in a better position either way, but the trend is hard to ignore. The cosigns start strong, the hype builds, and then it fades. And over time, it starts to feel like being signed to Drake might not be the blessing people think it is. I'm curious what y'all think though, because maybe you disagree or maybe you agree with me. I don't really know, right? If you made it this far, drop a like on this video. If you're new here, my name is Black.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Blackie Speaks. Y'all make sure y'all go tap in. An amazing YouTuber, content creator. But yeah, that was a good breakdown of how Drake be using these artists, man. And this is why we gotta keep talking about him. And we're gonna get into that jalopy too. Nah, we ain't reacting to none of Drake Iceman stuff. I'm with that all day. I'm with that. Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, I'm definitely with that one. We about to get into that probably in the next couple videos. We definitely about to get into that. I'm always with that. But yeah, bro, he be using artists All the bruh, his whole catalog, even though, you know, it's his voice, those are other people's songs. Some other people's songs, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.